Okay, welcome. I'll start with introducing myself and a little bit of background to what we're doing. My name is Siavash. I'm the Director of Youth Affairs Network of Queensland. This is the third year that we're running a youth work community of practice. In 2022, we did a face-to-face with mainly people who work in residential care settings. And that was trying to look at the youth work skill sets, enhancing the youth work skill sets of people in residential care settings, with the aim of trying to help slow the movement of young people from residential care into youth justice. As you all know, that there's a lot of young people that end up in youth justice from residential care. So that was a face-to-face with a group of people. We did that 2022. Then in last year, we expanded the project and did it with broader youth workers from across the state, and we did it online. And it was more broad. What we were looking was basically how to engage with highly marginalized young people and how to do it ethically and effectively. So that was what we were grappling with last year. And then we did an evaluation of last year. People indicated that they would like to see going forward a hybrid model, which was a mix of coming together for some face-to-face and doing some online stuff. Unfortunately, the proposal we put to the government didn't provide funding for us to do the face-to-face element. So we're back again doing the online only version for this year as well. However, there's some resources, so we basically will be running the sessions online. Not sure whether you all participated, you got the chance, but a little while ago, after people had registered their interest, I sent out a survey about topics of interest to make sure that throughout the year, throughout the sessions, we cover some content that is relevant to your work. And some people responded, and so we then looked and prioritized those based on the number of people who had shown interest in those topics. And so in order of priority, the first priority was working with young people towards social change. Second one was supporting young people with drug and alcohol issues. Then building trusting relationship with young people, supporting young people and their families, advocacy with and on behalf of young people, supporting young people with mental health issues, supporting young people and preventing criminalization, finding employment and relevant training, re-engaging with education, finding appropriate housing. So they were the top 10. And then people also had suggested other topics that we might want to look at, and they were in no order of priority. Was maintaining physical and mental health as youth workers. How do we look after ourselves? Supporting young people through a cultural lens, supporting young people to navigate Centrelink and health system, and how to be proactive when they are introduced programs, which I'm not sure whether our question was meant to be about prescribed programs. So when there's guidelines, how can we be proactive? I think that's what that means. So they're the topics. And so what we've got is we've got for the rest of the year some dates, which are, I've looked at dates that are outside of school holidays. Feedback previously to us last couple of years has been that school holiday is not a good time. And also we've ran sessions in the afternoons, and people also said afternoons are no good. Mainly a lot of people wanted to go and get children from school. There were issues at work. So hence the 10 o'clock time slot that we're on now on Tuesdays. And the rest of these dates that I've got are Tuesdays as well on 10 to 12. And I'm just going to go through them. If you want to write them now, just see, and I will send them out as well through email to everyone. But we've got one that's already booked, which is the next one for June, which is on 11th of June. That was already, we had confirmed that. Then from July, it'd be July 9th, July the 23rd, 6th of August, 27th of August, 10th of September, 8th of October, 22nd of October, 12th of November, 26th of November, and 10th of December. So these are the dates. Now, since we're not a huge group today, I'm just wondering whether we can take a couple of minutes just to go around quickly and people want to introduce themselves and where they come from, why you joined here today. So if I nominate somebody and then that person says what they got to say, and then they pass it on, choose another person. So if I start with Brandon.
Hi there. I'm from the Sunshine Coast. I'm just completing my Cert 4 in youth work and wanting to find out a few key issues around the area, and that's why I thought I'd connect with yeah, you guys as well, so that I am fully aware before I go into the field. Um, and I've done a little bit of youth work before, but um, uh, looking forward to working with the youth in the long run and see a better development for Queensland as a whole. I'll send to Selena.
Selena, you're on mute, I think, still. Not hearing you, Selena. Got a problem still. Should we go to someone else? Come back to you, Selena. Yep. Brendan, you want to choose somebody else? Brendan, now you're on mute.
I just realized, yeah, sorry. Nita Reid.
Nedari, you're on mute as well.
Hi, my name's Netari Mabo. I'm from Sisters Inside. I'm the State Youth Programs Manager and part of the last programs. And I'll pass on to Phil while we're here.
Hi, I'm Phil Dodds. I'm also from Sisters Inside. I've been involved with Yank for the last 25 years. I've been a youth worker for 30, and I'm part of the project. So, yeah, hi everybody.
You're passing.
Has Gina spoken yet?
Hi, I'm Genna. I'm a counselor at Ipswich. I'm a sexual abuse counselor here. I've been working here for 2 years now, so I work a lot with the child safety system directly. The one takeaway I would want is just because we're a part of a lot of stakeholder meetings and I work with a lot of out-of-home care children, so it would be good to kind of have more knowledge around how the youth workers work, as I'm not too privy to that. I would pass it on to Sam.
Yes, so I work at a company called Verb. We do student wellbeing officers and chaplains in schools is the main part of our business. In October last year, we opened up our doors to what I'm doing here now, which is our education hub. So we work with students that are disengaging from mainstream school, and we created a flexible learning arrangement for them. And we've got a student in here that's been completely disengaged from school for 2 years, and we've got students with sub 50% attendance, and in our program they've got 100% attendance. So having some great wins there. I joined because this is a new, this aspect of our business is new to us. So we're still learning and developing, and just like to have a bit of a mastermind and around writing policies, procedures, and gaining any extra knowledge to help our youth is always beneficial. Jen, I think have we gone to Jen? Not yet.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Kagan. I'm one of the previous facilitators of the group, along with Siavash and Phil and Netaray. I am a lecturer at QUT in social work and human services. And I'm actually on leave at the minute from there, but like extended leave. So, but I'll still wear that hat for now, and prior to that, I was a youth worker working in supported housing mainly. So that's why I'm here. Hang on, where's my names? They've all disappeared. Rusi.
Hi everyone. I'm Rishi. I work with SSI and also the Multicultural Youth Council of Queensland. I'm here in Logan, and I joined because I would like some more information about this other work that people are doing in the space, and probably just share more information with the networks that I work with. Sorry, I forgot I have to pick someone. Sherry.
Good morning, everyone. So my name's Sherry and I work at Elam in Moranbah. So we're a remote rural mining town. I've been working with Elam since 2019, but I've been in the youth space for just over a year and a half now. So primarily the reason why I joined this network was just to get a little bit more information, networking and strategizing how I can best support the youth that we have out here that are, quite isolated and disengaged, and just looking at some other options and strategies for those guys. So I'm the only youth worker in Moranbah, so networking is a big thing for me at this point. So that sums me up in a nutshell. Let's have a look who's here. Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie. I'm an intensive outreach worker at Marta Clarence Street in the Extend program. So we work with young people up from 13 to 18 who are at risk or engaged in the youth justice system. Been in this role for a year now, but been working in the youth sector with young people engaged in statutory services for just over 5 years now. My hope that I will get out of this is networking, of course, is so big. I'm always wanting to broaden my strategies for engaging young people, and just understanding more of the services around the area. And I'll pass on to Selena.
Can everyone hear me now?
Yes.
Cool, thank you. Sorry about that. I'm Selena. I'm from Queensland in Dalby. So my primary role is youth offender support services. So I work with Lifeline and Darling Downs and Southwest. So we cover an area that's quite massive. My primary area is Dalby, Chinchilla, Tara, Miles, and little places in between. I've been in this current role for youth offending this is my 3rd year. Been with Lifeline for 4 years. Before that, always worked with youth in the youth space, counsellor by trade, to have teaching background before that. Why I join these networks is primarily to see what's happening elsewhere in our state or elsewhere, to see what's working, what's not working, or how we can get that to work better for my specific role, and to join forces with other people or like-minded people trying to do the same thing for better outcomes for youth. Thank you. Have we had Anna?
Not yet.
Okay, thanks.
Hello. Hello, I'm Anna. I've been a youth worker over 20 years, working in lots of different sectors. I am currently a school-based youth worker in Wynnum, and I run an engagement space called The Bridge, and I engage young people that have sometimes 3% attendance back into school, and I've also opened a mums group. So I'm supporting the mums to be able to engage the young people back into school, emotional regulation, psycho-ed. So yeah, and the reason I've joined this is I've only been in Queensland for a year. I worked in Sydney for 8 years. I ran a youth centre there, but to meet like-minded people and networking. Thank you. Has everyone spoken now?
No. We have
Bernard, maybe?
Hi, everyone. Ben Breuer. I'm a founder and president of New Beginnings Youth Charity. We've been running early age prevention intervention programs for the last 25 years. Focus mainly has been children aged 8 to 14. And I think Jessica, I think, is the last one, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, good. I just want to double check that my speaker's better. I'm Jessica. I'm working at Teen Challenge Queensland, so I'm just 5 weeks into the family support practitioner role here, and I'm working with vulnerable families in the community who may be a family member is experiencing substance misuse. So yeah, I have a lot of flexibility in my role. I can work with anyone who has a child under 18 in their care. But I guess I'm really just wanting to network and see what's out there, and get some support and knowledge. Yeah, I've been in community services for a while, but my last role was in aged care, so I feel like 14 months of that has kept me pretty out of touch with my previous youth work and family work.
Thanks, Jess. And Jessica, where are you based? Which?
Oh, Brisbane.
Brisbane, okay.
Yeah,
Great.
north side, but I service the whole Brisbane region.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. Fantastic. So that's everyone. Everyone's spoken. Well, thanks. That was great. Thank you. I'm wondering if I can hand over to Jen. Jen, do you want to take us through just I guess where we're going, the session, how we want to work? Yeah.
I guess the first thing I want to say is how great it is that we have such a wide range of locations that people are coming from. I think sometimes we can just get a bit kind of Brisbane centric, and so it's great to have people from the regions, and being the only youth worker in Moranbah, hats off, Sherry. That's epic. I remember 100 years ago, I was working in the only youth shelter in the entire Northern Territory, in Darwin. And so even though there were other youth workers in Darwin, it was the only youth shelter, and so I used to go to national youth housing conferences and stuff like that, and people would be talking about a lack of resources and a lack of, referral points and all that, and I'd be going, you're kidding, we have young people coming up from, you know, Central Australia to Darwin, and from, you know, out in the communities to come to this one youth shelter. Yeah, obviously things have changed a lot. That was a long time ago, but I get a little bit of that feeling that you must have of that real isolation, and when everyone gets together and you kind of go, it's all very well for you, mob. You know, you got people to play with. I don't. So I hope that this group can serve some of that kind of connection for you. And I guess what I hear from all of you is that networking is one of the key reasons for being part of this, is just to build that sense of we're not alone in this. And I think that the way the youth sector's kind of developed, and, you know, it's part of neoliberalism and, you know, the privatization of the youth sector and all that kind of stuff, is that we are all kind of pushed into feeling like we're all just on our own, you know, and that we're not allowed to connect with other people. You know, there isn't time in our hectic schedule for networking and advocacy and, you know, that kind of stuff. And so, you know, we can feel isolated. And so part of the point of building a community of practice is about building that sense of community, breaking down that isolation. I think the other thing that I reflect on over the couple of years that we've done this is, you know, that we have a wide diversity of experience here, from people who are very new to people, you know, who have 20 years experience or whatever. And the people that are very new in previous ones have realized that they've got stuff to offer as well. You know, one of the things that I say to my students is youth work is the only profession where every single person who does it, like, it's the only area of practice, not the only profession, the only area of practice where every single person who does it has lived experience. We've all been young people. Some of us a really long time ago, but we've all been young people. And so we all get to reflect on that and draw on that, you know, and that can have positive benefits, and it can also be a bit limiting sometimes too. You know, when we start, and this is true with, like, if, because we, I know I'm going on a blurb, Siavash, but, you know, you know, when we think about drug and alcohol work or mental health work or housing work or whatever, and we have people who have lived experience of having mental health issues or having had drug and alcohol issues or whatever, there's lots of work that goes into that kind of, how do I use my experience for the benefit of the young people that I'm working with now? How do I draw on that experience but not make it all about me? You know, like, and we do that kind of work, don't we? But we don't do that just with general youth work, you know, and our lived experience as youth workers, which we all bring with us to this field of practice, to this area of practice. So, you know, this is a good place to talk about what youth work is and what being a youth worker is, and what kind of expertise we can bring just simply because we were once young people, or we have teenagers in our life now, we have young people in our lives now, or we've been youth workers for a really long time, or we just give a shit about young people, you know. And so what kind of expertise and conversations can we bring into the room? So I guess that's a really long story kind of way of saying everyone's got something to offer. Don't feel like if you're just new that you need to just sit back and be quiet and let all the people with experience talk, because we want to build a sense of community, and that's then about everyone feeling like they can participate. Yeah. And so I guess what we were thinking about is just spending some of this time thinking about what does a community, I mean, I guess I just talked about what a community of practice looks like for me. And so other people, what do you feel like a community of practice is? Because it's a particular kind of thing, isn't it? You're not just coming along to a lecture, you're not just coming along to an information session. Yeah, this is about, it's called the community of practice. And so does anyone want to crack open their microphone and have a bit of a chat about what we think a community of practice can be, can be for you? And if you've been involved in ones before, what have you gained from it?
I'll jump in. I feel like while you were saying it's kind of like a round table.
Jessica, can I just jump in, Jessica, and get you to come a bit closer to your microphone? You're a little bit hard to hear.
Can you hear me? Can you hear it now?
Oh, that's better. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I guess, I just think round table, and exactly what you're saying, then that, different experience around table, community discussion, breaking bread sort of situation.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Other people, what's a community of practice mean to you?
Sophie here. I guess from me, a really great part about where I work is every fortnight we do a community practice in our team meetings. So how I perceive a community practice is we're meeting about one topic each time, and it's shared learning between all of us. We're all reflecting and sharing our knowledge and experience.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
For me,
I think also the one of the biggest things that struck me over the last 25 years is government's unwillingness to listen to people with lived experience. They have their departmental staff that they rely on, who come up with sometimes some really silly ideas. And they have their organizations that they fund, that they draw in. And yet people like we see around the table here that have the experience are not listened to. So I think one part of community of practice is really bringing that together and having a voice that can be heard.
Yeah, absolutely, Ben. Sam, what are you gonna?
Yeah, so for me, I've involved in a couple of groups like this, but they're more for coaching and development and stuff. So we refer to those as masterminds. And for me personally, I'm still relatively new into this space, but being able to lean on to the wealth of knowledge in a group like this, with many more years of experience, to help grow and develop our business and the way that we interact with those students, with our students, would be something that I really look forward to.
Anyone else want to add anything? Don't need to, but just if you, I don't want to make sure everyone's got a chance. Siavash and Phil, what are your reflections on the idea of a community of practice from previous ones?
Yeah, I think a community of practice is what you want to make of it. I think it's about sharing of knowledge. It's about learning new skills. It's about sharing old skills with new workers. It's about combining our knowledge and seeing if we can come up with new ways of doing things.
Yeah.
I really take on, I think, Ben's comment, 25 years, and that's how long you've been a youth worker, I think. But I've been a youth worker for 30 years. Governments have never listened to people with lived experience, and I honestly don't think they ever will, but that doesn't mean we've got to stop trying to make them listen. And that's part of this is about, as a youth worker, and we've seen, like, not a slur to anyone who works in residentials, but they hire young people in residentials who really are just beginning their careers as youth workers, and they don't really have much knowledge to deal with those young people who are dealing with trauma. They've lost their family, they've been put in a strange home with other kids, and they're going to act out. And a lot of the workers there don't have any knowledge or skills in how to handle that stuff.
Yeah.
To me, that's what the guts of this is about. More skills to youth workers who are just learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think that sometimes we get so stuck in what we're doing and the way we do things that sometimes we also forget about the many other ways to do things. And I think that's important about a community of practice, is that we get to hear what other people are doing and share ideas, and then rejuvenate what we're doing and do it better. And yeah, I think that's what's important about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think everybody, what you said, it's all part of the real part of the community of practice. So I think it's a combination of all of those things. I guess reflecting on the last couple of years and stuff, for me, what is very striking is that I see a parallel to what we do in these sessions as a community of practice as to how good youth work is with young people. So in these sort of sessions here, there's no experts, there's no trainer, there's no people. We all have knowledge and we all bring it around and we all share that. And no matter, we all, as Jen said, we all have lived experience of being young, and we all have different life skills. We come, some training, some not training, some education, some not education, but that's all knowledge, and come around and share equally. And I think that's the beauty of youth work, where we actually approach youth work like that. So rather than telling young people what to do or looking down on them as they needing our expertise, is coming with young people together and collectively working out, saying, what do we do? And then basically acknowledging that young people have many expertise that we can tap into, and learning from them and one another.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Selena, you were nodding your head just then. Did you want to share something? What was it that ticked over for you?
Yes, that's right. I probably resonate with what you just said. I'm not sure if people are familiar with our area in the Darling Downs, but because we access we service large regions, it's really, really important that as the youth worker, with whatever skills that you've got, that the youth will take it. So they want whatever we can provide for them. And so I find for our greatest role on the ground, as we make connections with our service providers, stakeholders, community members, anyone that we can, that these young people can reach out for. So it mightn't be the time of need for an education person, but it certainly might be the time of need for someone who can work in the health industry. So I feel like as that community practice, it's our job as not only just humans, but as community members for our youth to be able to have our eyes and ears open to provide our youth with whatever we can that is their need at the time. So, it probably is true. You don't have to be an expert in a particular field, but if you're very good at something, that youth will grab onto you, or you can give that youth that expertise, but you can also share other places with them. And I think they value that, and they know that you're not just mucking around with them, or, and they'll pick you up pretty quick because they're not stupid people by any means. We've all been youth and we know who's at the end of us, but if you're genuine, you build that rapport, you can't beat that. And that's what they're looking for a lot of the time. So, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Lena. Yeah.
Can I just say, Selena, I think you've hit it there. Build that rapport. I think youth work starts with building a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't build a relationship with a young person, you're not going to do any good for them. You're not going to be able to connect. And it's about walking with young people, like you say, we might be experts in our field, but we're not experts in that young person's life until we build a relationship with them and we start to get to know what they're going through. They're the experts. They're the ones we need to listen to more than anything else. Build that relationship. Everything else flows from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Without the relationship, it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah. And you know, one of the things that I think is interesting is that relationship can be a just on the phone relationship, you know, like a 5 minutes on the phone kind of relationship. Or it can be a relationship that's gone on for, you know, however many years that young person's accessing the service, if it's a long-term kind of service. So it really is our responsibility to try and build and maintain that relationship. You know, young people are going to go, I don't trust workers. Like, why should I trust you? You know, and it's up to us as the workers to be open to build and maintain that relationship. And once we do that, like, you know, so much good work can happen, can't it? Yeah. Yeah.
And I think sometimes we can get very railroaded into our contracts, what our contract says we can do and what we can't do. And that makes life fairly hard for the youth, because obviously in my program, I actually, you know, I can only take you on if you're a youth, you're under 18 and you've committed an offence. And yet I'm a community member, been here for 53 odd years. And it's like we know these people, we know the need. So, you know, how do you stretch outside the scope of practice without getting yourself into trouble? Because, you know, you've got to keep your funding. That's paramount. Funding is paramount. But for me, it's more about keeping our youth happy, satisfied, healthy, because that makes better communities, right? That's what we're all here for. But it's that whole funding guideline and stepping outside the rails. And you know, when the youth come to us, they're obviously in our roles. We see some fairly vulnerable people, and having the no judgment. And it's so cliche now, isn't it? You know, in every funding or submission, no judgment. But youth will pick you up straight away on it. No. You know, for my guys, when they come to me, it's like they know they're wrong. They know they've done something wrong. My job's not to judge that. My job is to connect them with people who can make them feel better and be better people. But that's, our contracts really make life hard for a lot of our youth. You know, you've got to be at school. There's all these rules and regulations. Well, you know, a lot of them don't have our basic needs for a start. I mean, everybody's struggling at the moment socially. Can't have housing, our education's not fantastic, our health's down the drain, you know, we can't even get healthy food for some of our guys at times. So I find whatever support these guys can get from us is beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Any other thoughts about all that?
Yeah, if I can just add, you know, I mean, we had the luxury of building our own program from scratch. You know, I've got a background in innovation in industry, and you know, we put together some really terrific people that helped us, some very qualified people. You know, primary school, senior primary school teachers, people with social work experience and so on. But what we did, especially with our youth camps, we build a community. Whenever we run a youth camp, we don't look at the individuals, we don't judge the individuals. In fact, I want very little information on other than medical, obviously. A couple of lines on what their background problems are for these vulnerable kids. And we build a community and we show the kids what real community is all about during camp, as well as teaching them a whole lot of good things along the way. And we've had incredible results over the last 25 years with some fantastic life turnarounds.
It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting to hear that both what Selena and Ben are saying about the community, and how sometimes funding has actually stopped us acting as a community. So we have to actually go outside the funding to find what would you do as a community member. If you haven't come across it, there's a fantastic book by Colin Ball. It's called It's the Community Stupid. And yeah, Colin, Colin Ball, Ball. It's the Community Stupid. It's a fascinating book around this very subject how it's all about community.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. So I guess what we're doing this time round is, building on the reflections from last year, is it's going to be topic focused each week, and we get each week, each time. And imagine if we could bust out of work weekly and do this. And so we'll gather together people who are doing some interesting work in that space. That's the intent. And so if any of you know people who are doing interesting and innovative work in those topic areas that we've got here, let Siavash know. Shoot Siavash an email, so we can start having those conversations. Our thought is that it'll be, that they'll talk about their work or their research, what they're thinking, but then we'll have time each session where you all will think through together how you can use those ideas in your own practice. So we can build up some strategies that you can then start implementing. So because I think sometimes we go to things and it's like, oh, that was really cool, that was really inspirational, and then you just get back into the hard grind and go, oh, back into just what you normally do, and it kind of loses, that sense of inspiration gets lost. And so we want to try and just build some real strategies together around, well, how can you actually do this? Let's test this out, and maybe the next one we can do a check-in about how we went, implementing some of these ideas and shaping them into your own work contexts, obviously, but yeah, and then kind of move on to the next topic. That's kind of what we were thinking about for the next sessions. 10 sessions, 9 sessions. What else, Siavash?
A couple of things. One is we were thinking about picking your brain of how do we expand this group as well. Like whether you have suggestions of how we should advertise, or how we as a group can advertise, promote to grow this group, this community, so that we have more people on board. So yeah, open to suggestions, both in terms of what we should do or what all of us can do. Because at the moment, yeah, we sort of Youth Affairs Network is, as you probably know, we're in our 12th year now of not having funding from state government to operate as a peak body. So we're running just basically as volunteers, and we've just received money for this project to run this project as a one-off thing. So no operational funding. So we don't have a secretariat, there's no admin, there's no all of those sort of things. So basically it's me a couple of days a week trying to do whatever it's possible, mainly online. But open, as I said, to suggestions and any ideas? Nothing jumping out. That's okay. Sort of, if you think of any way.
We've got a potentially having a LinkedIn group that we can utilize to share resources.
LinkedIn.
Do you want to talk about the website
that
yeah. we've got, in case people aren't aware of the website?
Yeah, so as part of what we did the last couple of years of running communities of practice, we set up a website, and we thought that it'd be good to keep adding stuff as we go, keep adding knowledge and information into that, so it becomes a bit of a, I guess, one-stop shop of a lot of knowledge about youth work and practices in Queensland. So it's called Community Youth Work. And the web address is communityyouthwork, all in one word, .org. So that will take you and has some of the background, what we've been doing. And we also have a YouTube channel, so organization that we're running, Youth Affairs Network. We have our own website. If you want our website, particularly if you want to become a member, which is free for youth workers, it's just you search yanq, yanq.org.au. And Yank has a YouTube channel. These sessions, we will, once we record, we'll put on that YouTube channel, and we'll then email you the links to that. And there's also a Facebook group that we facilitate or we manage overall, and that's called the Youth Work Queensland. And that Facebook group is for people to share information, ask questions. It's quite an active group. So it's a little bit of like a community of practice. People ask questions, where can I do this, or what can I do about this? And other people respond. So, I'm saying manage it. I sort of like, every now and then might have to sort of intervene if something's a little bit goes out of the sort of becomes advertising or something like that. But other than that, it's managed by people themselves, and it's running really well. So encourage you to also check that in and join in, and some of the conversations can happen on that Facebook Youth Work Queensland as well. So there's some of the existing opportunities we have, and there's also what we experimented with, which Jen brought to us for the last couple of years, which is a Padlet, which through QUT, now it might be the QUT or our own one that we'll set up, but it's basically, gives the opportunity to have a threaded discussion about a topic. And for everybody to be able to see that thread and that topic and keep expanding to it. So it's a bit like is it a spider chart? Is that what you call it? Is that right, Jen? Is that how you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a discussion board kind of thing, but it's just a bit cooler looking, I think, a bit more easily accessible. We'll set it up under each of these headings. And so then people can just, if you want to continue the conversations, then you can, it'll just be there, and you can write, whatever you want around those, the particular headings, the topics that we've been discussing as we go. And the recordings will be available, won't they?
Yeah.
And so if you miss one, you can just go back and look at the recording and then join in the discussion as well. I noticed on the chat people are writing up their some networks and stuff. So yeah, feel free to send stuff about this group through those other networks, share stuff.
Please do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We really need your help in that area, because as I said, this is the 12th year of running as an unfunded body. Now, it means we haven't had presence, particularly in regional areas. In Brisbane, at least, sometimes I try to go to the youth interagency and keep people informed about that we are around. I do that sometimes with the Northwest Youth Interagency or all of those sort of things from time to time. Go and speak and just let people know. But I know that there are a lot of new youth workers that have never heard about us. Never heard that Queensland had a youth peak body, what a peak body is, what we can do, how we come together, the strength that we have. So we really rely on you to put information out about these sort of events, because a lot of those youth workers, unfortunately, are not a member because they don't know about us. So yeah, please help us promote it through your immediate colleagues, your networks. You all have got networks in your local regional area. They might have the information, but doesn't hurt to just keep putting it out. So I'll keep sending out the promotional material, and hopefully, yeah, we'll expand on this.
Yeah, Siva, so can I add too, I'm assuming the Yank website has years and years of resources available online as well, reports that Yank have done, and it's well worth having a look for any new youth workers. It'll give them a good breadth of knowledge about Yank and what we've done in the past.
Yeah, it's got some interesting stuff about youth work ethics and youth work practice, you know, that kind of stuff's up there. Yeah.
Yeah, what we did was we digitized every all the work that historically we done before even there was computers and stuff in the 80s. So it's all digitized now, all our submissions, everything. So if you go to our website and go to the search and just put anything, put chroming, homelessness, you'll get all the submissions, all the research, all of that sort of stuff. So we get it's a website that has got a lot of traffic, and that's because people just type in homelessness or type in chroming, and they don't know about us, but it takes the algorithm takes them to our website. And we actually surprisingly for a small organization, we class as tier 1, which is like the highest, the big sort of like national Lifeline and those large NGOs are that tier 1 sort of in terms of the traffic. So yeah, check it out. Yeah, Jen was talking about the structure of the sessions of having someone coming in sort of if you know people, please get in touch with me about on those. Anyone that's doing anything interesting. So like, you know, for instance, I've been talking to a couple of people in Sydney who have evaluated a number of programs that was about young people taking social action, and they've sort of evaluated those programs using young people themselves, so a bit of a participatory action research. And hopefully they're going to come and present to us about that paper and what they found, like what works, what young people thought it worked, all of that. So that's around, well, how do we support young people to take social action? So people like that can sort of both set the scene for us, I guess, provoke us a little bit into having discussions. So people who are doing something a little bit different, some people that you think it's people should know about. So if you know anyone about any of those topics, please let me know. If you got contact details for them, send me, I'll chase them, and hopefully we'll try to fill all these sessions with those sort of people who will hopefully come on board. Then they will set up they'll be sort of like, you know, speak about the theme that we'll have for each session. Then we'll also have a chance to, if it's a small group like this, we'll I guess do a session like this. So we also, all of us get a chance to share our knowledge, our perspective. And if it's a larger group, we can break into smaller groups. And so, as Jen said, the key thing is by end of it, making sure that we basically translate that information collectively into something that it's concrete for our work practice, so we can take back to and utilize it. So we don't want these things to be a talk fest. We want it to be concrete learning, but not in the traditional expert training, come listen to us, but concrete learning from one another. That makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, Phil, Nettery, do you have anything to add?
We
No,
went to
go through it. I think I've said all I need to say at this point. I suppose I'm looking forward to the next 10 months or however long we go for. I'm looking forward to hearing new ideas. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my knowledge. And I'm looking forward to the learning. And yeah, I'm really keen again. So let's go.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I'm excited to learn some things, to see what's going on, all the things. Pretty much just echoing Phil.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else got anything to add? Anything to say about today?
We just thought this would be a bit of a shorter session, just a bit of an introduction to the whole idea of it, and, you know, so yeah. I think I've got a chook and a dog problem going on in the backyard. I just think I need to go. Yeah, so
hey, Jen, I don't think
the
there's
next one.
anything else. If there's nothing else, we'll basically bring it to close. And you'll hear from me through email. And next session is 11th of June. And I'll send an email with a link to a whole lot of stuff that we talked about. Thanks, everyone, for participating. And have a great rest of the day. And see you next month.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sherry.